Now, what is biofuel? Biofuel is the term is made up of two terms, bio and fuel. Bio means from the source is biomass, and fuel means from which we get energy. So the source of biofuel is biomass, and biomass means plant waste, animal waste. But here main thing is that plastic like waste can't be included in biomass because that's not organic. And the energy which we get from biomass is called as bioenergy, and it is self-replenishable, hence called as renewable energy. And it is used in different purposes, like primarily for transportation purposes, and it is also used for heating, electricity. Example is biogas. Now, biofuel can be divided into first generation and second generation. Now, what is first generation biofuel? When we use biomass when we use food crops as biomass, that is called as first generation. When we use non-food crops, that is called as the biomass, that is called as second generation. Now, the basic difference between these two is that about the feedstock I talk about, that is the source. Now, the limitation of first generation generated the second generation biofuel. We will see that what is this food versus fuel conflict. And the common example of these two is the ethanol. Now, ethanol is the most common biologically produced alcohol. There are many types of alcohol we know. Now, why it is called as first generation? Why it is called as second generation? First generation is conventional one. The second generation is advanced one. Because there is profit in second generation ethanol. Because we are using non-food crops. We are not using food crops. Because food crops, we will use food crops, and we will be depletion. We will get in depletion of food crops. So that's the biggest advantage of second generation ethanol. And the main difference is that first generation ethanol, the production process requires fermentation, but in second generation, prior to fermentation, biochemical and thermochemical processes are required. Now, why second generation? We can call second generation ethanol as the sustainable source of energy. Lower greenhouse gas emission. We know that the fossil fuels do very much greenhouse gas emission, but using biofuels, 2G ethanol, the rate of emission of greenhouse gas is depleted by 60 to 90%. And again, improving energy security. We diversify energy resources. Like, we are not particularly dependent on the fossil fuels. Hence, diversifying gives us energy security. Next is reduce food versus fuel conflict. If we will use food crops as in first generation, then we will be in depletion of the food crops. Hence, using non-food crops gives us the crop security. Like, we will delimit the food versus fuel conflict. Next is efficient waste management. We can convert the waste non-food products into the valuable fuel, and hence we can also decrease the burden on the landfills. What are the economic benefits of 2G ethanol? Utilization of waste products. If we will use non-food products, then we will not. We don't need to dispose the non-food products like the husk and all the agricultural waste. And the second point is that job creation and economic growth. See, whenever we will enhance the 2G ethanol plants, 2G ethanol generation, it will provide jobs. It will also enhance the level of economicity in the rural areas also. Next is energy independence and security. If we will use 2G ethanol things, then oil prices will decrease. If oil prices will decrease, then we don't need to shift in the like fossil fuels. Enhances energy security and stability. Next is technological innovation. See, if 2G ethanol plants, innovation happens in that 2G ethanol plants, then biofuel production technology will increase, fermentation processing will increase, bioprocess processing will increase. So, in short, we will get enhanced form of these